Today on Exploring Limitations, we are going to take tape delay feedback and turn that into a musical instrument. Here we go. Today's video is totally inspired by the recent goings-on over there at Simon the Magpie's channel. If you're not familiar with Simon the Magpie, you should be. Just a couple weeks ago, he put out a video called Every Garbage Mixer is an Awesome Synthesizer. And he, to his credit, mostly got that idea from another YouTuber named Andre. I'm so sorry, I'm just not gonna try to pronounce the rest of the name. I'm a dumb American. Links to those videos are below. I highly recommend you watch them. The whole concept of the video is essentially to use internal feedback as an instrument that you can manipulate on the mixer itself. I'm pretty sure there have been follow-up videos about it, and I do not want to watch them yet before making this, because that idea inspired me in tape land to take a cassette tape delay, any tape delay would do, and to experiment with that idea of, can we turn a feedback loop into something musical? Again, one person's noise is another person's music, so we might be stretching the bounds of what is considerable music for the listener. Before diving into the sounds, really quick, I just want to share with you my exact routing here on the Porta Studio. Hey y'all, this was one of my unscripted videos, and I'm going through the edit and realized I wasn't very clear on the signal flow, and I want to make that as plain as day.
Step 1.
Grab your Porta Studio. Any mixer. This Porta Studio has an effects send. 2 of them, actually. So the first thing I did was plug into the FX1 send, the FX1 out. It's on the back of the machine.
Step 2.
That signal is going straight to the Sony TCM 5000 EV, which is our tape delay. This is quite simply a old mono cassette recorder, but pretty high quality. Our input monitoring on the Sony tape delay is set to tape. This is what gives us the tape delayed sound. Please go watch this video that I made a long time ago on how tape delay even works.
Step 3.
The output of the Sony tape delay is being sent to a DBX163X compressor. Today we are dealing with feedback. Feedback can get really out of hand, so the DBX163 compressor, or any compressor, helps squash the runaway signals, and that is a big part of what we're doing today.
Step 4.
And that signal is coming back into channel 2. You get it? That's the loop. That is the loop-de-loop-de-loop of the signal. Now you can think of this channel strip, channel 2, as its own instrument. That's what we've got going on here. There are no guitars, no drums, no signal input. The electrical signal and the hiss of the tape are going to be the kind of inputs that create the feedback. You're gonna hear that just a second.
Step 5.
In order to get a little bit more musical, I've added some things in the chain. So between the effects out of the Tascam and the line in of the tape machine, you can see these 2 pedals. Ignore these 2 for now. And I just randomly chose these. I chose the Digitech Whammy and the Slicer. Something pitchy, something rhythmic. I don't know what this is gonna sound like. Without further ado, let's get to it and just start making some noise. Here we are, channel 2, with the most basic thing. I'm gonna bring up the fader. Now you're hearing the output. I hit record and play on this, so this is now our tape delay, and you're just hearing the hiss, the hum of the tape noise, because I have not introduced that signal back into itself. Let's go for it. That's this volume right here. I'm gonna introduce the signal back into itself, so it'll start feeding back. This is a very familiar sound. You can see the DBX is really controlling. If I crank the volume, you get lots of distortion. Getting all kinds of crazy sounds. That's just the basic noise without messing with anything. That is your run-of-the-mill, just tape delay gone awry. We can immediately start to affect it just with the EQ on the channel strip. So let's try that. All I'm doing is boosting the lows and I cut the highs. And you're getting a tone. Hear that? And it's rhythmic. Boy, wouldn't it be nice? Look at that. Wouldn't it be nice if we could make this rhythmic? Let's engage this slicer. I know I got ahead of myself a little just now, but let's stick with this idea of the EQ and just the feedback of just the tape machine and the EQ. So now that's boosted lows. Let's cut those. We're already getting to some interesting places, just the feedback and messing with the EQ. So now let me flatten the EQ and engage the whammy. Whammy! And let's just see how that sounds. Engage. That's pretty sick. Okay. Pretty wild. Getting noisy up in here. Very, very cool. Let me throw on that slicer like I was doing earlier, and let's just see what happens. Let me flatten that EQ. Slicer can add a sense of rhythm to your feedback loop. This is sick.
Hours later.
Okay, we're getting somewhere weird. As you can imagine, that went on a lot longer than that. Thanks to the power of editing, you didn't have to listen through all of it. If you do like that sort of thing unedited, please join me on Patreon. That's the kind of stuff I will often post over there. All right, we've introduced a couple of elements, the whammy and the slicer. Now, many mixers have multiple aux outs or multiple loops. This mixer has a second effects loop. That is why you see this reverb sitting here. I'm the worst. I didn't mention that the outs of the effects, the cathedral reverb, are coming back not into the effects in, but into a different channel on the mixer. And that allows us to now use the effects 1 and effects 2 send to send that signal back into the feedback loop. That's really important, and I hope that that's clear. And that's all that you need to know now. Peace. If that doesn't make sense, just watch what I'm about to do. I'm bringing in the cathedral. Now let's feed it back. Pretty wild. I'm letting it run. I'm just letting it go. Listen to all that. I'm not touching anything. I call this piece When the Machine Takes Over. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna let that keep going as an underscore. You can imagine the limitations are endless with this kind of technique. You could sample this music and turn it into keyboard chords. You could use this as a letting the days go by. You know, you can get that really Brian Eno strange thing happening as a underscore. All right, I am gonna pull it off. It is distracting. I can't think while that was going. It's so interesting. I hope you're inspired by this technique, again, I really, really appreciate Simon the Magpie. Always big shout out to him and his friend Andre. There's clearly a whole world to explore with that. Again, I highly recommend. You need limiters or compressors in your life, or you need to have a really fast finger on the fader. Hopefully these quick little examples can inspire you to go out there and create your own sounds, your own music, your own textures. Today, we let the tape machine just dictate what was going to happen and what the sounds were gonna be. And sometimes that is just the most fun thing to do. I hope you had fun. I had fun. Please join me over on patreon.com/made on tape. I really appreciate all the support you get over there. Thanks for coming over here. Appreciate you. With that, as always, is peace and be good to each other. Before I let you go, here are some quick clips of some other explorations that are too long to include in this video.
Whoa.
Sounds like a pretty cool bass note to me. Let's see if I can change it. I didn't even expect to be shooting today.